Tehrani, and I'm here at the Voice Peering Forum, or the VPF, summer 2008 in San Francisco, and I've got with me Shepcaro, who is the CEO of Telx. Eric, how are you?
Good. Great to see you, Rich.
Great to see you as well. I am very happy to have this opportunity to talk with you a little bit about what's new at your company. And one of the big things I saw was expansion in one of your facilities in the Midwest. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. We announced just today that we are taking additional space in Chicago, our Cermak location. It'll be the equivalent of about 200 cabinet equivalents added to the existing space we have in Chicago at that facility. We already have another facility on South Federal in Chicago. And what the driver is are the number of interconnects that we're seeing, space, power requirements. Chicago, a very strong market. It's actually, I think, the fourth announcement we made on space expansion in the last several weeks. 60 Hudson Street, New York, 111 8th in New York as well. And then we also announced we'll be going to the New Jersey market beyond our Weehawken facility later this year.
That's great. Do you want to just touch on what your company does overall and like the overall pitch on what you do?
Sure. So, it's very simple. We've developed a platform for companies that need to do interconnections, cross-connects with each other, co-location, network-rich co-location in the best carrier-neutral facilities in the country. So if you're a carrier that needs to connect with another carrier, if you're an enterprise that needs to connect to carriers or other enterprises, a content owner, if you want to offer a hosted software as a service platform, you come into a Telx facility, you take space, power, and then you have the ability through a simple cross-connect to get out to hundreds of networks. So in New York, for example, we have the ability to get you to 400 diverse networks globally through a simple cross-connect. So essentially, within less than 24 hours, you can have a simple cross-connect, lowers your return on ROI, return on invested capital by 25 to 30%, take out that local loop factor.
That's great. So what are some of the plans for your company going forward?
We'll continue to expand in the markets that we're in. One of the things that we found is we have built these facilities or developed these facilities where the majority of the connectivity, the fiber comes in, where the undersea cables come in, where wireless backhaul is done. So we're going to continue to grow in urban facilities, and we'll fill in a couple of those facilities where we don't have locations today in the U.S. And then later this year, we're thinking about global expansion. We're seeing our same model being very relevant from an interconnection, network-rich co-location in Europe and in Asia, and we'll look to go into those markets as well.
That's great. So based on where you sit in the marketplace, do you see any interesting trends which may not be obvious to the rest of us?
Well, I think there are a couple of things we're finding. One is, I think it probably is obvious, is the explosion in IP-based services. So whether it be HD video, whether it be other IP-based services, consumer or business, we're clearly seeing that expansion. We added 1,200 plus cross-connects in Q1, the most in the industry, and most of those were IP-based, and it's driven by these applications. But we're also seeing some other interesting things. We're seeing that the Telx facilities are now being places where enterprises come. Before it was mostly networks, carriers, service providers, the connectivity providers. But now they're becoming the hubs where content owners that want to get to the eyeballs are looking for that connectivity to those network providers and service providers. So now you see financial institutions being our customers. You're seeing the content owners and content providers, everyone in that ecosystem, actually, the content delivery guys, coming to a Telx facility.
Video, when you say
the video folks, the folks that do pre and post production, everywhere in that content ecosystem, the digital content management, the DCM folks, because they're looking at new ways to distribute the content, get access to these networks, and they're really understanding the benefits of these carrier-neutral facilities or Telx interconnection platform within these facilities and meet rooms, which is a big change. I think the other thing is that people haven't realized is there's some estimates that in the next several years, 25% of software will be hosted, software as a service. Well, now you can come to a Telx facility, they can put that platform in a Telx facility, and you can peel off and use one of your connections, a cross-connect, to get to that platform. or you can get off to a backup and recovery storage facility. So it's not just about network to network, it's really about these applications. Now Telx, we're not going to provide these applications ourselves, but our customers do, and that's part of creating this global marketplace where you can kind of come in and get to a cross-connect to a hosted CRM application just as easily as you can get to a network-to-network connection.
And that's done cost effectively, basically.
It's done cost effectively, it's done seamlessly, it's also done expeditiously, so that whole time to market.
Sure.
So, like I said, we can do a cross-connect network to network in a couple of hours. At the onset, maybe 48 hours. It's the same thing, a cross-connect to go into a storage platform or to an application platform. So the ASPs, the application providers, the content providers, once again, are recognizing the benefit of these facilities to come put their applications, which is a big change from a couple of years ago.
That's great. So for companies that are considering being your potential customers, what's a message that you might tell them?
Well, I think we look at each sector or our customer targets. So to the carriers, if you need connectivity to other carriers, to send traffic, to offload traffic, to connect to them, Telx is the place. I mean, I think out of all of our locations in New York, we have 400 carrier that you can connect to. In the smallest, I think it's 60 carriers. So once again, to get to that handoff, particularly the smaller global carriers, many of whom never step into a Telx facility, the smaller VoIP provider or some of the smaller global carriers can come into a Telx facility, take that space and power, and have that interconnection to a whole host of global carriers. To the enterprises, the message is Telx can be a point on your wide area network. So come in and put your big Cisco CRS, put your Juniper router, or put some ancillary storage and server equipment and make that a point on your wide area network, but also you can put some of your enterprise applications in Telx facilities as well. To the content folks, it's a way to get directly to the eyeballs and through a simple cross-connect, once again, get to the players that you need to get to distribute that content in a Telx facility. So, I think it's all the same message. It comes back to speed to market, return on investment, and being able to execute on their business plan. And that's what creating this global marketplace that we've created is all about. It really is an ecosystem that we help customers marry up and put themselves together.
That's great. You've been listening to or viewing, I should say, an interview with Eric Shepcaro, who's the CEO of Telx. You can find out more information about Telx at telx.com. And if you're interested in information about me, my name is Rich Tehrani. I'm the president of TMC, and go to TMCNet.com or Tehrani.com for more information. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you, Rich.